Hello, bienvenue, willkommen, karibu, welcome to the Med Lounge with Christina, where we discuss everything medicine, health, and life. Hello, welcome back to the Med Lounge with Christina. This is the Med Lounge. I am Christina, a medical practitioner based here in Uganda. So my last video was a reaction video to Joseph Kableta video concerning controversies and myths about the malaria vaccine. I'd like to thank everyone that watched that video. It got quite a number of views. Very many people are interested. I had questions. Many of you asked questions. Some of you felt that I did not answer all the questions and I didn't settle your minds on whether you should vaccinate your children or not. So in today's video, that is the question I will be answering. Malaria vaccine, to vaccinate or not to. I will be answering all your questions. I will be looking at issues of concern that some of you raised. Yes, and we shall see whether it is a given to vaccinate our children against malaria or not. So, let's start by looking at the two malaria vaccines at a glance. We have two vaccines. We have the RTSS, also known as the Mosquirix. We also have the R21, also known as the Matrix M. RTSS is owned by GSK, a global UK-based pharmaceutical giant, and it partnered with PATH and was funded by the Bill and Miranda Gates Foundation. This vaccine took over 30 years to be manufactured, and it is the pioneer vaccine, the pioneer malaria vaccine. Then we have the R21. This is owned by the University of Oxford and the Serum Institute of India. We know the Serum Institute of India as one of the largest, if not even the largest, vaccine manufacturer. It made itself quite a name during the COVID-19. Then we come to the efficacy. The R21 has an efficacy of, let's start with the RTSS. The RTSS has an efficacy of about 30 to 50%, and the R21 has an efficacy of 70 to 80%. Both vaccines target the Plasmodium falciparum, the malaria-causing parasite. RTSS was approved first by the World Health Organization. That was in October of 2021, and its pilot began in 2019. The R21, on the other hand, was pre-qualified later in December of 2023. RTSS was piloted in Kenya, Ghana, and Malawi, while R21 was approved in Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. Both vaccines need 3 doses and a booster dose, making them 4 doses. So now to the questions. Question number 1 that was asked was why the R21 moved faster. So first of all, the manufacturer of R21 has a higher manufacturing capacity with an ability to produce over 100 to 200 million vaccines compared to the limited supply chain of the GSK, which is who is the manufacturer of the RTSS. So R21 promised early on mass availability in comparison to the R21, rather to the RTSS. It also has a simpler production model, which is easier to manufacture and cheaper to manufacture, so which made it easily adaptable by the African countries, since cost is normally an issue when it comes to us. Then it had a strategic approval. Ghana and Nigeria actually did approve the vaccine before it had been pre-qualified by the World Health Organization, which I would say was a smart move. The other question was the R21 rolled out too fast? So according to some global health experts,
Yes, the vaccine was rolled out too fast because Ghana and Nigeria did approve it before the phase 3 trial results had been seen. However, the vaccine was later reviewed by the World Health Organization and was pre-qualified by the World Health Organization later, and they found no issues with it. Then there was a question on why the World Health Organization delayed the R21. So the World Health Organization pre-qualified the RTSS first, despite it having a lesser efficacy, or despite the R21 showing better results. However, on a positive note, of course, the World Health Organization could not approve a vaccine before it had seen the phase 3 clinical trials or the phase 3 trial results. However, some critics, on the other hand, say that this was because of GSK's long-standing influence, but I think we shall lean more on the reasoning of course, they hadn't yet seen all the phase trial results before they could approve the vaccine. I had a question on scientific comparison gaps. Someone was asking how the two vaccines compare, and I would say that there hasn't really been a comparison between the two. First of all, the trial settings were a little bit different, and no one has really yet come out to do a head-to-head sort of comparison or trial comparing the R21 and the RTSS. All we know is that one is more effective or has a better efficacy than the other. But remember that the one with a better efficacy had its tests done in seasonal areas, but we don't know yet how it will perform in the perennial zones. The perennial zones, these are the zones with a year-round transmission of malaria. So in conclusion, the RTSS is the slow and steady pioneer, while the R21 is the newer and faster challenger. So in other words, both vaccines are valuable, but the limitations, speed, and lack of full transparency sparked the criticism that we saw. As of now, the World Health Organization approved both vaccines. Later, comparative data could maybe in the future help us determine which of the two is more dominant. I had another question of whether the rollout or the coming of the vaccine means that we can now give up on the other malaria control measures. The answer to this is no. The vaccine is not a magic bullet, it's only an added protective layer. So we shall still need the sleeping under mosquito nets, getting rid of stagnant water, vector control measures, all that stuff that we have been doing in the past. Remember that the vaccine's effectiveness is at 70 to 80, it is not at 100%. And neither does it prevent you from getting the malaria, but rather it prevents you from getting the severe stages of the disease. So we still need the other control measures in place. There was a question asking me to address whether the vaccine is designed to cause infertility in Africans. Like we saw in the previous video, this is not true. There is no scientific evidence that either of the two malaria vaccines causes infertility. So where do these rumors originate from? Number one, historical mistrust. In the earlier days, like way back in the past, unethical medical experiments were conducted, not only on Africans, but on people in different parts of the world, political prisoners and all that. And this fueled generational trauma and skepticism. Then number two, disinformation campaigns. We have so many people that are they are anti-vaccine. They are against vaccines. These people put out videos. These people take their time decampaigning these vaccines.
So of course, when you learn such content, you are bound to hold back and say, wait a minute, how true are these things I'm hearing? Maybe they are true. You are bound to be skeptical. Then of course there is fear of new technologies, especially after we had the rapid COVID vaccine rollout. People became very skeptical about most of these vaccines, especially when Western pharmaceutical companies or foreign donors are concerned or are involved in the manufacturing of these vaccines. So why are some people hesitant? One, this is a new vaccine. It is not 100% effective. So it is not perfect. We are saying you need booster doses. So people are saying, is it really worth it? But I will continue to say half a loaf is better than no bread. The 70 to 80% efficacy and the fact that the vaccine does prevent children from getting severe stages of the disease that can potentially lead to death makes it worthwhile. Then some people ask me for the side effects. Now, like all vaccines, the malaria vaccine may cause minor side effects. We majorly have fever, swelling at the site of injection, fatigue. Infertility is not a side effect. We've not seen that. There is no scientific evidence to back that up. Cerebral malaria, seizures, those were not among the side effects. We said it's just the febrile seizures that may occur. These are seizures or convulsions that occur when a child's body temperature are high. And these are rare, very, very rare, and they are not necessarily life-threatening because they can be managed. So let's stop spreading rumors, verify information before you share it out. Rumors will discourage parents from vaccinating their children. This undermines life-saving public health efforts, and it deepens mistrust in health systems, which is something very dangerous, as this can spill over to other health programs that are not necessarily vaccination programs. So what should you do if you have concerns? What should you do if you have questions? Number one, it's very okay to ask questions. Please do ask questions for clarity. Ask your health caregiver, ask your family doctor, ask your medical friends. They should be able to give you answers to some of these questions. Ask people that you trust that are in the medical field to answer some of the questions that you could be having. Get your information from reliable sources. We have the Ministry of Health, we have the CDC, we have the World Health Organization, and all these other health platforms that are available. And avoid forwarding unverified information, so unverified messages, because you might unwillingly spread fear among people over something that could not be true. So in conclusion, to vaccinate or not to vaccinate, I would say we are vaccinating. Please do vaccinate. Why? We are having a vaccine with 70 to 80% efficacy. It is preventing severe malaria, reduce hospital admissions, deaths, absenteeism in school. We have the herd immunity effect. When more children are protected, transmission rates drop, which in turn benefits the entire community. And lastly, the vaccines are approved by the World Health Organization. They are not harmful to your health. If they were harmful, they wouldn't have this approval. So let's take our children for vaccination. Feel free to ask questions that you could be having and try to avoid spreading misinformation. Until next time, I remain Christina here on the Med Lounge with Christina. Thank you for watching. Continue to subscribe, like my videos, share my videos if you find them important. And until next time, au revoir, kwaheri, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.